Hey there, folks. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to a brand new weekly watch video, basically where I watch movies during the week, Monday through Friday, and on the weekend, I show you guys what I watched. I usually try to keep it at 2 movies per day, which is what I did. And this week, I watched a lot of thrillers, some action thrillers. There is I guess a couple dramas in there, a couple comedies, but mostly thrillers. So I guess you could still say it's a random week, but I had a lot of fun this week. I watched a lot of good ones. So let's start with Monday. I watched one of my favorite Stallone films, and that is First Blood. Yes, the very first Rambo movie. Man, I tell you what, this movie is so good. The whole motorcycle chase scene, where Stallone is on the motorcycle and the sheriff's chasing after him. I know you can hear me. You're finished. You've gone as far as you're going to go. You hear me? I didn't do anything. But I didn't do anything. God, this movie is awesome. Just everything about it, man. My favorite is still the second Rambo movie, Rambo First Blood Part 2. That is my personal favorite. But this one, this is still an awesome, awesome movie. So I started off the week with that. What a better way to start it off. So the next movie I watched on Monday, you may not have heard about it. I mean, I know there's probably some people out there who are fans of it, but Thomas, Horror Fan 34, actually turned me on to this movie because I knew nothing about it. Maybe I might have saw this on TV once, but I just couldn't remember. But it's got an excellent cast. Judgment Night. You got Emilio Estevez, Cuba Gooding Jr., you got Dennis Leary, Stephen Dorff, Jeremy Piven. Excellent film about these guys who are on their way to a boxing match, and they get off the expressway and they find themselves in a neighborhood that's kind of like run down and like a lot of drugs and stuff like that, and they witness a murder. And Dennis Leary basically sees these guys witness it, and so Dennis Leary's ahead of this gang, and so he's like, you know what? Take care of them. I don't want any loose ends. So the whole movie is basically these guys running from Dennis Leary and his gang. They're running through train yards, apartments, and abandoned buildings and stuff like that, trying to get away from these guys, and they're shooting at them and trying to kill them. Just really, it's a cat and mouse game. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of thrilling moments. This is definitely a movie to see if you have not seen it. It's called Judgment Night, guys. That is a recommendation to you. Thank you, Horror Fan 34 Thomas. All right, moving on to Tuesday, a movie I have not seen in a long time, but I like this movie. I don't know. Call it a guilty pleasure, I guess. Deep Blue Sea. My hat is like a shark's fin. Deepest, bluest. My hat is like a shark's fin. LL Cool J, man. You gotta love him. Thomas Jane, LL Cool J, Samuel Jackson. We're not gonna fight anymore. Like on this movie's okay. Look, there's some stupid stuff that happens in this movie. Like the sharks are all smart and stuff like that. And you have Thomas Jane doing flips in the water to avoid the shark. The shark comes after him and he does a flip or a somersault or whatever to the shark misses him. The last time I did a flip in the water or a somersault in the water, I just stay in one spot and I just do this. I don't like move out of the way. You get what I'm saying. Anyway. And then the whole lady, her that basically she cuts herself and jumps in the water and commits suicide. But look, I saw this movie in the theater with my cousin Dan, and we enjoyed the hell out of it. I mean, it was just so fun. I love the soundtrack to this. I love Thomas Jane. He's an amazing actor. And that's what this movie is. It's guilty pleasure fun. Okay, that's what it is. When it comes to shark movies, you hear about those bad shark movies. I don't even put this on the bad shark movie list because it's really not. It's just, it's not bad like some of these other ones, like House Shark and Toxic Shark and Sand Shark and like all these stupid shark movies. This is just fun to watch. All right, so here's a movie that gets hated, and I will say that I do not hate this movie. I actually like this movie, and it is AVP, Alien vs. Predator. Again, I saw this in the theater, and I was blown away. It was directed by, I think it was the dude that, Paul W.S. Anderson, who did Resident Evil, and he did Mortal Kombat. So his style is definitely there when the Predator and Alien fight. You can see a little bit of that going on with the certain camera tricks that he uses, the slow motion, all that stuff. But I couldn't imagine it any other way. I like this movie a lot. I love the whole mysterious pyramid under the ice in Antarctica, and the predators, how they always hunted the aliens. They come down there, and like these humans get trapped in the pyramid, and the predators are looking for them for their weapons and stuff, and they run into the aliens, and it's a lot of fun. This movie's great. I don't know. The second one sucks ass. But this one, I don't know. I like it. Moving on to Wednesday. This thriller is really good. I've only seen it once, but when I just revisit it, I'm like, man, this movie is, it really shows you that this could probably happen in real life. And it's about anesthetic awareness. Like people who go under aren't always like, they're not always like asleep. Like they can still hear and sometimes feel. Like if you're going into surgery and they put you under, there's been stories that people like they can see like what's going on. They can hear you. They can hear the conversations. They can remember things. They can still feel pain, but they can't. It's almost like they're paralyzed. They can't tell you this. They can't do anything. They're just sitting there, just like doing this. Like that's what this movie is, and it's called Awake with Hayden Christensen, Jessica Alba, and Terrence Howard. Excellent cast, excellent movie. This is probably one of my favorite films with Hayden Christensen. I will say he does a fantastic job in this, and even Jessica Alba. There's a twist that happens in this movie that I didn't see coming. I did not see coming, but basically, Hayden Christensen, he goes under. He's immobilized, but he's alert. He can hear this devious plot going on with these doctors and these people that are in the room with him, and there's a plot to have him killed. So he's basically like a rich young tycoon kind of guy. And so like there's this plot against him while he's under, and he can hear everything, and it's really good. Like I've never seen a movie like this. It says a twist that's going to keep you guessing. It really does. I did not see. Like, there's certain people that are involved in this that you would never suspect. You would never suspect it. You wouldn't even bat an eyelash. But, this movie's great, guys. Called Awake. The other one I watched is, it's still a classic to this day. Rest in peace, Patrick Swayze. I just can't believe he's not with us. Such a great actor. And it is Ghost. Every time I watch this movie, I love the storytelling here. I love the cinematography and the fact that, he dies, he becomes a ghost, and like he tries to reach out to his girlfriend, and he uses Whoopi Goldberg to, Whoopi Goldberg's character, he uses her to try to make contact. And like the whole heaven and hell thing is really cool. Like these dark creatures come take your soul down to hell if you were a bad person. And the ending to this movie is probably one of the most iconic endings with the music and everything. And what's funny, when you think of Patrick Swayze not with us anymore, the ending that happens here when he kisses Molly and then he walks off into the light where there's like angels. Do you think that's what really happened to him? It's like, it's so weird. Like when you think about it, like Patrick Swayze is actually gone. And then in this movie, he's he's dead. It's just really strange. But still an excellent movie. Moving on to Thursday, I wanted to feel some laughter, and I definitely got some with these two movies that I watched. The first one I actually saw in the theater, and I remember I was just old enough to get in because this movie was crazy, raunchy, and it made me laugh, though. I was laughing my ass off. South Park, the movie. This is the bigger, longer, and uncut. I saw this in the theater with my cousin Dan. God, I freaking laughed. Hey, Satan, let's fuck. Let's fuck to celebrate. Fuck Canada. Hey, fuck you, buddy. I love South Park. I think it's an amazing animated show, and I laugh. I love the characters. I love Terrence and Phillip. I love, Cartman and all of them. The characters is really what does it for me. Trey Parker and Matt Stone, they do a fantastic job with these characters. But yeah, this is the movie here. There's a lot of songs in this. The soundtrack is actually really good. But I just wanted to laugh, and I definitely laughed after watching that. The other one I watched, another actor that is no longer with us, Robin Williams. I still think this is one of the funniest films that he's done next to Mrs. Doubtfire. Mrs. Doubtfire is hands down my favorite Robin Williams film, my favorite, the one that I laughed the most at. This would probably be second when it comes to like laughing and being funny. And that is RV. This movie reminds me of my dad. When I was a little younger, he had an RV, and he did not know how to do anything except drive the RV. But when we parked it, like there's a scene in here where he's trying to turn on the TV, and the daughter goes, "Don't you have to hook up to the electricity to make it work?" And then he's like, yeah. Same thing happened to us when we weren't near any hookups. He tried to turn on the TV and couldn't figure out the fact that we needed to hook up to the electricity in order for it to work. Same thing happened. And how much trouble he has trying to operate the RV with dumping the sewage that's in there. Another problem that my dad had. I don't know. There was just a lot of realism and just a lot of like normalization when it comes to someone who's never owned an RV or operated one, how much trouble he's having with it. But it's so funny. This movie's so funny. I freaking laugh every time. Again, I saw this in the theater, and it still holds up. Okay, so Friday, I have a couple thrillers here. This one has Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and I do like him a lot. I think he's a great actor, and Hilary Swank, which another great actress. I think she's really good. And then Christopher Lee makes an appearance in here, but he's not in it a lot. And it is called The Resident. Basically, a movie about Jeffrey Dean Morgan is a landlord, and he's got an apartment for sale really cheap. And then Hilary Swank's, she's looking for a cheap apartment to live in, and so she moves in, and they kind of get romantically involved with one another. But the problem is he's a pervert. He's got he can go like behind the walls and like peep through like these little holes to like look at her in the bathroom when she's undressing. I mean, I'd do that too. I would do that if she was there too. I'm just saying, maybe I am a pervert, but she's gorgeous, and if I had a chance, fine. I mean, there's a scene where she's in the bathtub and she's naked and she's getting out drying herself off. I mean, who wouldn't want to look at that? What do you think? I'm stupid? I'd want to look at that. But yeah, it becomes a little bit obsessed, which I would never cross that line. I'm saying it becomes to where he gets obsessed and he starts sneaking into her apartment at night, drugging her up and basically taking advantage of her. He's like sucking on her fingers and like pulls off her pants and starts kissing her, it's just weird stuff. I mean, in the beginning, it turns into, okay, he's a peeping Tom. But then it turns into much more. So it's a good thriller. I really like it a lot. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is really good in it. So I'm going to be doing a review of that. The last one I went with here is a movie that I remember watching when I was younger, and the music alone scared the shit out of me. And it still kind of does. It kind of brings back that memory of when I watched it. Great cast, though. You got Robert De Niro. This is probably hands down my top 5 favorite Robert De Niro films. Nick Nolte and Jessica Lange. Also, Juliette Lewis is in this, and she's very young. And that is Cape Fear. Now, this is, of course, a remake. The original movie I have here somewhere. It's probably in this stack of movies here somewhere. This is a movie that never gets old. I freaking love this movie. It's very... There's some scary parts in here where they're trying to... There's a part where Robert De Niro, Max Cady, they're trying to see if he's going to break in the house, so they sit there overnight, hook the windows up to these like fishing lines to see if he breaks in and stuff like that, and like scary moments, like scary music when it goes dun 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 dun, you know, crazy. Like, this movie has a really cool third act where they're on this boat and stuff, and like Robert De Niro, he is so awesome. Now, this is a Scorsese film, so excellent movie, guys. This is what I wanted to end the week on, and what better movie to do that? So anyway, guys, that is my weekly watch. Quick recap. Monday, I watched First Blood and Judgment Night. Tuesday, Deep Blue Sea, My Hat is Like a Shark's Fin, as well as Alien vs. Predator. Wednesday, I watched Awake, recommendation for you guys, as well as Ghost. Thursday, South Park the movie, and RV. And Friday, The Resident, and Cape Fear. So, I will be doing these weekly watch videos every week. Like I said, I try to keep it at 2 movies per day. Maybe sometimes I'll only do 1 a day, or maybe sometimes more. I don't know. But yeah, sometimes it'll just be like a random week. Sometimes maybe I'll pick a theme. I guess it just depends on what the mood is like. So, hope you guys enjoy these videos. Stay tuned for next week to see what I watched.